The Porsche Taycan has quickly become one of the flagship vehicles for the EV market. Today we're here to talk about this 2025 Porsche Taycan 4S. So starting off with the overall look of the car, the Taycan hasn't changed that much, but there have been some subtle changes just with the 2025 refresh. First of those changes is going to be the front bumper. You no longer have that slit that goes down from the headlight to the slit right here. It's just a slit all by itself, which helps with the aerodynamic performance of this car. These front headlights have also been redesigned slightly, although very subtle, it's hard to notice, but they have the LED matrix system and they're super bright LEDs, great for nighttime driving and stuff like that. The fenders right here have also gotten a slight update as well. Again, these are very subtle differences. Most of the changes have been to the internals of the car. But let's move on to the side of the car. Continuing on with the side of the car, you'll again notice not much has changed, but that's actually a good thing. That means Porsche did a great job with the overall design of the car. But one major change on the 2025 model is that this car does have the Porsche Mission E wheels, and for this year they've been redesigned. The previous Mission E wheels actually sucked in air, causing a little bit of drag and reduced performance and battery longevity. But with these designs, these are a little bit thicker, and these actually act more like aero discs and help push air along the side of the car. And they also closed off these slits between these spokes right here. And one of my favorite features about this is that Porsche actually went ahead and hid the valve stems in between these spokes, so it's not as visible. Again, these are subtle differences, but it makes the car look 10 times better. And these Mission E wheels are also paired to the exterior color, that being shade green metallic, which I think is a beautiful color for this car. Porsche made some major upgrades to the battery in this car itself, and since this is a fully electric car, that's where all the performance comes in this car. So starting off, Porsche increased the capacity for the battery in this car and made it to where you could charge a car a lot faster. You can charge from 0 to 80% in just about 18 minutes, whereas previously it took around 20 minutes or a little bit longer. Though that is with the fast charger. And if you'll notice right here on this side is where the fast charger will be located. You put this little flap down, it gives you that extra space. That's where you connect the fast charger. On the other side is your standard charger over there. They also did improve that charger as well. That one charges a little bit faster, but nowhere near as fast as this one. But overall, a major improvement compared to the previous Taycans. Now, continuing on with the performance specs of this car, with the better and more improved battery, this car now has a 0 to 60 of 3.5 seconds in launch control. It also has a total horsepower for the 4S of 536 horsepower, which is a little bit more than the previous 4S. Also, this car does have a top track speed of 155 miles an hour, which is honestly really good for an electric car. And overall, I think Porsche has done a great job improving the performance. One last thing to note is that you do have a better battery life on this car. Your range is up to 252 miles, but you can improve that depending on the driver and how well they drive. Continuing on with the rear end of this car, it looks pretty much the same, but I think it's a really good looking car from the back. But let's talk about the trunk space. Back here you have 14.3 cubic feet of storage, which is about average for the luxury electric car market. But if you include the front, since this is an electric car, you got an additional 2.9 cubic feet up there. So this car fits all your daily necessities, such as going to the grocery store, picking up kids, sports, stuff like that. Overall, it's a great car. Let's hop into the interior. All right, now that we're inside the car, let's talk about some of the features in here. First off, let's talk about how comfortable these seats are. These comfortables might be one of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat in a luxury car, and I've sat in plenty of luxury cars. But I really like these seats. I love the leather. They really hug you. I'm just driving around the parking lot recently. Even just taking these turns at like 5 miles an hour, I can feel the seats hugging me. Moving on to the steering wheel, I love how Porsche has designed it. It looks really sporty. It looks like a GT steering wheel. You got all the buttons and dials you can need to control your infotainment system, as well as your gauge cluster. And right here, they do have a dial on the steering wheel that allows you to select between the different drive modes. And one new feature on the 2025 Taycans is, if you get the Sport Chrono package, they added a button called Push to Pass. This button kind of was introduced before, but now it actually has a name, Push to Pass, which will allow you up to 70 kilowatts extra power at 10-second increments, which honestly, I think that's a really cool feature. You see that in plenty of racing series where they add, that extra horsepower for a certain amount of time. And to see that in a road-going car is really cool. It'll help you get around, maybe some slower traffic if you're driving on the highway and stuff like that. Make it a lot easier. Overall, Porsche's done a great job with the interior of this car. It works seamlessly with the overall design of the car. And since this is an electric car, I love how they have so many technology and different gadgets inside of this car. First off, let's talk about this infotainment screen. It looks amazing. I love how sensitive it is. Like, you touch it, you don't have to worry about, buttons not reacting to when you press it. And you can adjust everything in this car. Right now I'm on the car setting. I can adjust my drive mode, my height or my ride level, even the electronic sports sound, which is an extra thing since this is, again, an electric car. There's no sound, but you can add an artificial sound. And honestly, to me, it sounds like I'm in Star Wars when I'm stepping on the accelerator. So I really like that. The gauge cluster is great. It's all electronic. It gives me all the information I could possibly want. It also lets me know what my ride height is at as well. Again, I just really have to say Porsche killed it with the overall design of this car. I love how it drives. I love how it feels. I love just honestly looking at this car. But let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, be sure to check back in next time. Thank you.